Have you ever been kidnapped? Let me tell you something, it is not fun, okay? In fact, it's quite the opposite of fun, if you didn't know. So to tell this story, we're gonna have to rewind back to sophomore year of high school. So I went to an all-boys Catholic school, and since this was a private and not a public school, it was a pretty long drive every day for me and a bunch of other kids who weren't local. So my school developed a train system. It was pretty darn simple. A bus would take me to and from the stations, and the train would take me where I needed to be. But this one week in particular, the buses weren't running, and we had white minivans instead. And these vans had a little thingy at the top that said convenience van or something, and a little piece of paper in the corner of the windshield that said train. This was so a bunch of kids wouldn't hop into some random unsuspecting parent's car trying to pick up their son. But don't get me wrong, it still happened though. So wave 1 of these vans came at 2:30 with 3 vans, and wave 2 came at 3 with 1 van. And if you were a little nerd like me who did chess team and math team and science team, you took the 3 o'clock van. Actually, I was always the only one to take the 3 o'clock van. It's pretty lonely. Anyways, so the van came at 3, was a 10-minute drive to the station, and the train came at 3:15. So that gave me 5 minutes to chill at the station. Okay, that was a lot of boring stuff. Now let's get into the juicy stuff. So I was waiting for the van like any other day of that week. For a lot longer than usual, actually. I checked my watch, it's 3:05. If the van came right now, I'd have 0 minutes to chill at the station and just make it in time for the train. But it didn't come. I waited a bit longer, checked my watch, it was 3:08. So even if it came right now, I'd still be late. So I thought of this fantastic idea illustrated by this very poorly drawn map. So that's me, and from school, I'd walk down a couple blocks and catch the van on its way, and we'd make our way from there, thus saving time. I know, right? I'm just brilliant. So I get to the designated spot, and I see the van coming, and I hadn't really prepared for this moment, so I kinda just threw myself in the middle of the road and started frantically waving my arms. 'Cause you know, if I just stood on the side and the van just blew right by me, that would ruin the entire point of the plan. So luckily, my presence in the road was enough to stop the van. And as I walked closer to the vehicle, I gotta take a look at the driver, and he looked very mean and big and rugged. But the van driver was different every day, so I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I went up to the window and knocked on it, expecting him to roll it down. But he didn't. And he just stared at me and gave me this glaring look like, what in the HELL double hockey stick do you want, kid? And I was just like, train, right? And he just gave me this blank, confused, empty stare like I had an elephant head with forks orbiting around it. And this stare lasted a good 10 seconds. It's a long time to be stared at. Then all of a sudden he was like, yeah, train, come on in, bro. And I knew something smelt fishy here, but I just ignored it, because I just wanted to get home and play some Little Big Planet, you know what I'm saying? So I hop into the car, and we're driving, and everything's pretty normal. A turn is coming, so I just remind him by saying, oh hey, just take your next right. And he doesn't really do or say anything, and I was too shy to repeat myself, so I just hope he heard me. So the turn comes, and he blows straight past it. And my shy self managed to say, oh hey, you missed the turn, but it's no problem, just take the next right. And again, he doesn't do or say anything. And guess what? He blows straight past the next turn. So now I just decided I wasn't speaking loud enough, so I broke out my loud voice. I'm like, yo, just take the next right, but don't miss that one. And he looks at me in the mirror and says, no, trust me, this way's faster. Now you see, I'm well known to my friends and family to having one of the worst senses of direction on this planet, but even I knew we were way past where we needed to be. I check my watch, it's 3:12. We have 3 minutes until the train comes and leaves. I knew if we just kept going like this, I would miss it, but I was too scared to say anything because his presence was like really intimidating. I don't know, I felt like if I said another word, he would just pull over and kick my ass. So I just sat there and we drove further and further away. I check my watch again, and it's well past 3:30. The train came and left a while ago. So I'm like, hey, we already missed the train, you can just drop me off back at school and I'll be picked up from there. Don't worry, I won't tell nobody you fudged this up, aight, we cool. And he says nothing, again. But you know, I'm not having none of this. Like I look at my watch and it's way too late now, I gotta get home. So I break out my loud voice and say it again. And he looked at me in the mirror and keeps driving and says nothing. Like, boy! Okay, like, what do I even do? Okay, what do I do? I had the selectively deaf driver driving me to God knows where, and there I am, just sitting there helplessly. I felt like a ghost. And I was just getting so frustrated inside, so I was like, okay. I need to just relax, take a chill pill, just calm down. So I look out the window, then I realize not only were we way past where we needed to be, but we were literally in the middle of nowhere. There were no trees, people, or buildings in sight. It was just empty land. And that's when it hit me. When I got into this van, there was no yellow thingy at the top, nor a sheet of paper in the corner of the windshield. I was in some random dude's van. And I just think to myself, wow, I'm getting kidnapped. This is how I die. He's going to bring me into his underground lair and do unspeakable things to me. My mind was just in a complete shock, like I didn't even know what to do with myself. Cause this isn't your typical everyday situation. So I just kinda sat there and accepted that this is it. This is the end. I might as well have been texting my mom my will, telling her where I kept my holographic Charizard and to give it to John across the street cause it was actually his and I stole it from him. And in the car, I'm just thinking of all the things I haven't done yet, like, wow, I haven't even gotten married yet, I haven't had kids yet, I haven't tried my Amazon Prime free trial yet, I haven't tried that local pizza place I really wanted to try to but I kept saying I'll go to later yet. And all these thoughts just gave me a rush of adrenaline and made me think, yo, I'm not gonna die here, I need to get my ass up and out of here cause mama ain't raised no biatch. I told the driver to pull over because I was gonna walk home from here into my freedom. And he looked at me and said, nope, and frickin' floored the pedal. But I was tired of staying in this car, so I tried to open the door while the car was moving. But it wasn't working. Safety lock was on. So I rolled down the window to reach the outside handle. I got my arm all the way out, and he must have realized what I was doing, so he started to roll up the window while my hand was out. Like, damn, I know you're a kidnapper, but I didn't know you were an arm severer. I was losing reach, so I stood up as much as I could so I could reach further. I got it open and pulled my hand inside just before the window closed on it. I slid open the rest of the door, and this guy started driving even faster, like we were traveling through time. Like he floored the pedal before, but now it's going like into the ground. We were going at least like 8,000 miles per hour. I managed to grab my backpack and jump out of there. While I was flying through the air, I heard him yell something and the brakes screeching behind me. I fell to the ground and just sprinted away without looking back. I was running like Olympic time, okay? Watch out, Usain Bolt. Oh, and to make things even more inconvenient, like the situation wasn't inconvenient enough, my backpack was like 20 pounds because I had a bunch of tests coming up that I needed to study for. So that's the thing. When I was running, I didn't really hear the car or shouting behind me, so I'm guessing he just drove off after that. And after all this, I'd found my way to the train station and sat down and was like, I had to sit there for like 10 minutes just to mentally recover from what just happened. My mom ended up picking me up from the station and everything turned out A-okay. And you want to know what I did that very same day? I signed up for the Amazon Prime free trial while I ate that pizza from that local pizza place. The pizza ended up actually not being that great, but it wasn't about the pizza. It was about what the pizza signified. But seriously though, it was like $10 completely wasted up. Wow, okay, that was pretty intense for a first video. Well, thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button to let me know. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I've never really done an outro before, so I don't really know how to end this, so I'm just gonna awkwardly cut it off. Okay, bye.